Hello, this is Pete, or Kenshin1913, along with
Mom.
And this is another Cooking with Kenshin1913. What are we making today?
Today we're making Utica Greens. Okay, so the star of the show today is Escarole. And you buy this in your grocery section of fruits and vegetables. Comes in a head. And it will clearly be marked Escarole. And so we're going to show you how to clean it, parboil it, and then make the Utica Greens. So the other things that you're going to need to go with this are garlic. I have some prosciutto here cut up. It's maybe about 1/4 pound. You don't have to use this in the recipe if people are vegetarians. You can just make put all the other ingredients in and it'll taste just as good. If you don't have prosciutto, you could use a little bit of very lean bacon. We have breadcrumbs, plain breadcrumbs, salt, and pepper.
All right, so let's first show how to clean these escarole.
Okay, so what you want to do is to have yourself a pretty large enough strainer, and you want your sink itself to be clean. So, and I put in the stopper, so the sink is going to fill up. And I cut off the end of the escarole and open it all up, because that's how you're going to be able to see it. Some of the escarole that you get from a farmer's market is going to have a lot of sand in it. So you may have to wash it and strain it a couple of times.
Yeah, this is why we're actually showing you how to do this, just in case you have to clean it at home, obviously. I think we've done another recipe with escarole where we, escarole and beans, I want to say, and I don't remember if we showed how to do it, but this time we're actually going to show you. Because it's important to know.
Yeah, and there's other greens that you have to clean them really well also. So you're just going to look at it. You're going to take any pieces that may be not so good off. And we're going to get our pan of water boiling. So I'm going to show you that as well. So this here now is just going to soak for a minute, and then we're going to continue cleaning it. Okay, so our greens are all washed, and as you can see, it ends up, before they're cooked, you could have a big bowl of them. We're just going to quickly parboil them in boiling water. So I usually put it in for, say, 10 minutes, and then drain the water. So if you want to make a big dish of this, you're going to need a lot more than one head of escarole, because you'll see after it shrinks down. So it's all nice and washed. Throw it into the boiling water pot. Now, Utica Greens, we originally ate this my sister-in-law lives in Utica, New York, and we were there visiting, and they ended up getting some of this from one of the local restaurants, and so it tasted delicious, and we said, well, what is it? And they said it's called Utica Greens. And the combination of the ingredients that they put in, they use this a lot up that way. And you can get it at restaurants, you can get it when you go out, for a party.
And that is Utica, New York. Yeah.
And that's Utica, New York, that's correct. So this is going to come back up to a boil. As you can see, it's starting already. And we're just going to let this cook for, as I said, about 10 minutes. Okay, see, now our escarole was overflowing in this colander. And look, see what happens once it boils down. So that's why you have to figure out how much you want to make or how many people you're serving. This wouldn't be enough to serve at for us as a, you know, having guests over. That might be okay for my husband and I. But you're going to get to see how the whole thing gets prepared, even though it's not a large amount. So what I'm going to first do, I forgot to tell you, you need some olive oil, so you coat the bottom of your pan. Okay, so I'm going to put the prosciutto in. Now usually prosciutto comes in slices like this. We ended up having some left over, so we froze it. Because those of you who know about prosciutto, it's very expensive, so you don't want to let it go to waste.
Yeah.
But usually it's slices, and it's kind of paper thin, like these two pieces here.
Right. Yeah, prosciutto we use when we make marsala and some other stuff.
And as I said, this is just to add a little bit more flavor, but you do not have to have it in it if you would like this as a completely vegetarian dish. Matter of fact, the last couple of times that I've made it, I didn't put the prosciutto in. I just put lots of garlic.
Yeah, but we want to observe the real recipe.
Yeah, the traditional one.
Yeah.
So we're just going to let this saute a little bit. And I'm going to add
garlic.
My little bits of garlic.
How many cloves of garlic you got there?
I have 3.
3 cloves of garlic. Again, all the information will be in the video description.
Want to keep it on low because you don't want your garlic to burn.
Start on medium, go to low. Yeah, because once you burn garlic, we've mentioned this before.
Throw it away.
Throw it away. It gets very bitter, and there's really nothing. There's not much you can do to save it. I don't really know anything you can do.
You can also put, you don't need hot pepper in this because those cherry peppers are very hot. So that will
yeah, this is one of those recipes.
Open up your sinuses.
Right. This is one of them recipes where, you know, if you're not in the hot stuff, you know, this is, I don't know if this is for you, honestly. But I'm sure if you don't, you can probably use like a lesser pepper.
There are sliced peppers that are sweet peppers.
Right.
You could always try that if you don't like hot peppers.
Right.
So the hot peppers, they're not so hot that you can't tolerate, you know, the dish. Just gonna give you that, you know, with your bite full.
Yeah, that kick.
Getting that kick.
But yeah, the garlic smells great.
Yeah.
And the prosciutto cooking with that is great as well.
Okay, so now I'm going to start to add my escarole. Be careful because
it's still pretty hot.
This is hot. I mean, you could have done this early in the morning and just had it waiting for you.
One other thing you got to worry about just a little bit when you're throwing this stuff in is obviously, since we just cooked it and we've just drained it, there still might be some excess water in the escarole. All right, so we put the escarole in with the prosciutto. And really, I guess you really need to cook it that long because
no, we just
pretty much cooked.
We want all the flavors to get together.
Right. This is when you want to add a little salt, a little pepper. But yeah, so water and oil don't mix, so you might get a little spit ups, but probably not too much. So my mom just added a little bit of salt, probably about.
Just a little bit of pepper because we're going to get the hot.
Right.
Although it's a bit different.
I'd say like a quarter of a teaspoon of each, probably, or a pinch of pepper. I don't know. I mean, a pinch of salt. But yeah, you want to put that stuff in before you start throwing in hot peppers and breadcrumbs. One thing that my mom might have mentioned about the breadcrumbs is you want to use plain, very plain. Although if you have the Italian style, that's fine too.
As long as it does not have cheese.
Yeah, no cheese.
No cheese. All right, so these are our hot peppers.
Really hot. Really hot, like more hot than I can handle. I don't really like them that much.
You could put as little or as much as you prefer.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing with this recipe.
How much do you think that is?
This is probably 1/4 of a cup. If I were to put it into a cup, you could cut them up if you want into smaller pieces, or you can leave them in slices. I'm going to cut a little bit up so that they'll be a smaller when we're eating it.
Yeah. But yeah, this is a good recipe.
This is a great side dish.
Yeah, this is a great side.
With you're having meat, or you're having chicken, or. Then we're gonna put that right in there.
Do you put cheese in this? No cheese, right? Okay, yeah. I'm thinking something. But anyways, now you gotta let these cook a little bit. And the nice thing about this is, like, once this starts cooking, or like you get the flavors of everything, and you throw in the breadcrumbs. The breadcrumbs kind of like thickens it up. Like, you see how you still got a little liquid and olive oil in the bottom. It really makes it a really nice heat and thick kind of meal. Well, no, not like thick like a stew or something, but just get a little thick.
Okay, so as you can see, it's all going very quickly. So you're going to want to have your stuff ready, okay?
Yeah.
So now, again, you know me, I kind of judge.
Yeah, this is about 3/4 of a cup.
So I'm going to turn my heat off now. And then just mix this around.
And that's it, really. The longest part is probably
cleaning your escarole.
Or boiling it, really.
So can you see how it's taken up all of the liquid, the excess liquid, and it just looks like it's a filling inside here.
Maybe this would be pretty good if you stuffed inside of a chicken or something. Maybe, I don't know.
This probably would be good. You know what? In a stuffed bread. I'm gonna have to try that.
Yeah.
That would be good.
Well, there you go.
And then you're done.
So let's we'll plate it and eat it. All right. So how you would probably plate it? I mean, usually we would just leave it in the frying pan. But what sometimes we like to do is do it family style, where we just throw it on a plate and just let people pick what they want and eat. So now that's what we're gonna do, is eat. All right, so here is the escarole once again, and or the Utica Greens, sorry. And yeah, my mom's gonna have some because I don't eat it. It's too hot. Not a big fan of escarole. So what do you think? Were you getting that heat?
Not too much, because I didn't get a hot pepper yet.
Yeah. See,
although by mixing it around,
you still get the heat.
You still get a little bit of the heat.
The residual heat. But yeah.
What's really good to eat with this is
piece of bread.
A nice, crusty Italian bread.
Yeah. But yeah, so
that helps with the heat as well.
Utica Greens. They're yummy. They're delicious. They're a great side. One thing I do want to mention: Cooking with Kenshin1913 aprons are on my Etsy website. Check it out. The link is in the video description. Anyways,
I got that hot back there.
Yeah. Anyways, this has been Pete, your Kenshin1913, along with
Mom.
And this has been another Cooking with Kenshin1913.
Enjoy and happy eating.